Welcome back to Missions to Movements, another bonus episode. On last Monday's bonus episode, I was sharing about how to use LinkedIn specifically at this time of the year as a really thoughtful thought leadership element to your fundraising and visibility at the end of the year. These short solo episodes are unedited, so welcome to the raw version of Missions to Movements. This episode is going to be focused on your upcoming events and how we can really transform them into an opportunity to generate consistent cash flow for you all year round. So, I recently attended a gala that was beautiful. The room was buzzing with energy. It was full, sold out. It was this really cool industrial space, and they hit their fundraising goal for the evening, which is an incredible accomplishment. But what struck me, and I was actually talking to the person leading fundraising, and they knew I was going to be there. And they're like, we really wanted to make monthly giving happen, but unfortunately, it just didn't. The only mention of their monthly giving program was a tiny paragraph tucked away in the back of the program booklet with a QR code. And while this night was truly successful for them, I, of course, couldn't help but think, what if monthly giving had been brought to life as a moment in the program? How much more sustainable impact could have been created for years to come? And this is a common challenge at these events. Events are very often focused on the one-time fundraising wins, the paddle raises, the live auction in the room, which feel amazing. Don't get me wrong. But of course, what we all want is diversing the revenue streams to build lasting commitment. So why can't it be yes and in these moments? So instead of burying monthly giving into the program, what if the MC had stopped and said, if you love tonight, let's give it a sequel. Keep it going. Join our monthly giving program right now. Scan the QRs on your table and this thing happens, right? And make it a moment. A video plays, then something happens, right? Like there's so many different creative things that you can do. The energy in that room could have channeled into dozens, maybe hundreds of sustainers. I was a guest of someone who had purchased a table. And so I'm someone who knows a little bit about the organization, but not a ton. And so there are a bunch of people that are, of course, going to contribute with the paddle raises and do bigger amounts. But for those who are invites, how do we include them in a really special way to get that lower, but very strong and important commitment, lower dollar amount, but long-term commitment? It's an incredible opportunity. It brings the community together, the energy in the room is there. That is something that is unmet. The videos, the stories that you're hearing truly inspire generosity. But obviously, at the end, the event ends, everyone goes home, and so does the giving for that moment. So, what if your gala or a golf tournament or a 5K or a holiday party, whatever it is that you're hosting, didn't just spark the one-time gifts, but turned it into this wave of monthly donors? So, that's what I want to talk about in this quick fire episode, is how to make monthly giving the true centerpiece of your upcoming events, not the afterthought at the end of the night, but really a moment that people can remember. How to put this in action. So earlier this year, I worked with the Ruth Project during a VIP intensive. My VIP intensives are where I work with you one-on-one for a day and a half virtually, or I meet with you in person. And they have an annual soiree gala event. And this year specifically, they were doing a birthday themed event. And so we were just creating their monthly giving program. So we talked about how do we launch their new monthly giving program, which is called The Story, and make it a big moment. So knowing that is a birthday themed event this year, I think they were turning 10. I think it's 10. I could be off on that, but I think it was 10. Anyways, birthday party themed, my mind goes to a birthday candle and making wishes. So theme being, the story begins with one light, let yours be next. So had this idea of a candle activation inspired by the theme. So they do have current monthly donors that would be attending this event. So we talked about that. And they would receive a special pin when they got there. So one, if people see the pin, it's like, oh, how did you get that pin? Natural conversation piece. And for those that give during the night, they would receive this special pin as they leave. So imagine each guest arrives. There's a single white candle at their table setting, symbolizing, and there would be some acknowledgement about this in the program at the table, symbolizing the light that they carry, their potential role in the story. A matchbox matchboxes around the table labeled "Be the Next Light" and a beautiful card sitting at the place setting that could read something along the lines of, "Tonight, we invite you to make a wish, not just for our birthday, but for the future of a child in foster care. When you light your candle, you're saying, I want to be part of the story that stays, that supports, that shines." And there's a QR code on the card. This could also be a place where they get to write their wish on the back of the card and drop it into a wishing jar for the families that they serve in the middle of the table. And there's a donation form. When they have the QR code, there's a donation form that has the preset levels that tied to the impact. So all of this is like you're making a moment at the table. Then there's, of course, during events, you have speeches. You're going to go up and say something. So speaking about why monthly matters, we talked about for them creating a short 2-minute or so story video that will play before the ask. And after the video, having a script that feels good, that you feel energized about to say that their ED, in this case, founder, would say there are blank X amount of us in the room tonight. Each one of us carries a light, a story, a chance to walk alongside a family who says yes to love. If you feel moved to join the story as a monthly giver or upgrade your support for those in the room, go ahead and light your candle now. So guests would start lighting their candles around the table. The room gradually grows table by table. And again, it's the same thing. Really interesting. I hadn't been at a gala in a while and watching and I even felt this way, the paddle raises where our numbers were on the back of our programs. And so I was number 299. So as soon as they're like, can I get the $5,000? Can I get 5 people at this? Can I get X at $1,000? And you feel like that peer compelling, be like, oh yeah, I want to I raise my paddle. That feels good. I want to join that group. And it's an uplifting moment. And there's people celebrating your gift next to you. So the peer-to-peer element of this is so impactful and really creating a visual moment. And then same thing as you would normally do in like a live auction setting, they're sharing a real-time donor count. So at this gala, they said, how many do I have at 1,000 right now? How many do I have at 500? And they would say the amount. And so you get the real time count and you could say, tonight, 64 stories were lit, were started by the light, something to that effect. And so again, it's a moment. And after the event, every new monthly donor, we talked about brainstorming a photo. Like a photo would be taken of the moment when the room was lit. I don't know if you happen to go to church, and I always love the moment where they do the candle lighting and everybody in our church would sing Silent Night and end up raising the candles all up together. And so what if you took a photo like in that moment and they get a photo of that or a postcard with a note that says, this is what your light helped create. So just going back to that memorable moment, handwritten thank you card with the wish that they wrote included inside, like really, you can automate all of this, by the way. Maybe we talked about an optional printed bookmark because they're a part of the story. So really think about what could be uniquely represented for you, whether that is a whole room, in this case, filled with glowing candles and wishes being made and a community coming together. It's not just a giving moment. I don't know. I don't think people really remember the moment a year from now that they're going to, when they raise their paddle for a dollar amount, but they will remember an experience that they had at your event. So how can you design a signature moment? Don't tack monthly giving onto the end. How can you feature it as a moment, whether it's candle lighting? If you're an art organization, can monthly donors write their names on a cool live art wall? Or is there an artist that's writing names or something as they join? Or murals happening as people give? Ringing a bell together, projecting names on the screen. I don't know, choreography, right? How can you make it a visual moment? So that's the first thing. Design a signature moment. 2, how can you elevate existing monthly donors? So if you already have a program, highlight them. If you can have a VIP lounge or cocktail tasting bar sponsored by a partner that monthly donors get access to, early access to the event. Can they be there 30 minutes of mingling before the doors open with your founder or a key stakeholder and they get like a private viewing of something? Do they get a special pin or a badge or a ribbon that says they're a part of the program? How can you make current supporters feel valued? And it sparks curiosity in others about like, how do I get access to that? And then number 3, which events are so primed for, is capturing content for ongoing stewardship. This event that you have is not just one night, it is a plethora of opportunities to bank content. So, again, I shared that one example, taking a wide photo of the room during that activation moment, mailing it later as a thank you postcard. Can you utilize the moment to record short thank you videos from your staff, from beneficiaries that are there? You can send them to the new sustainers the week afterwards. Can you interview one or two of the monthly donors on site about why they just joined and then use that in social posts and emails later, right? So many opportunities from events to make it grow just beyond that one fundraising night. So, one, brainstorm that one creative moment that symbolizes monthly giving, prep QR codes, signage, the donor touch points, schedule those follow up messages so that magic doesn't stop just when the end does. And I know something for this event that I went to in particular, technology, the donating software, they're trying to think about how could this work because their credit card was previously, our credit cards as donors were previously collected to make it easy to give. And you might be thinking the same thing. Talk to your tech, talk to your donation vendors. They want you to be successful. How can your partner help with your monthly giving goals? Have the conversation. I promise there's always a way to make it work. So, my big ask for you from this little bonus episode is at your next event, don't settle for just one time gifts. Give the donors a chance to step into something lasting and meaningful. And if you do this, create that centerpiece moment. And again, tag me on LinkedIn, send me a message. I would love to hear in the reviews if you liked this episode, post an idea that somebody else might learn from. I would love to celebrate your creativity, and maybe your story can get even featured on the podcast. Next Monday's bonus episode is going to be the PR, public relations focus of getting featured in gift